believe that every energy shift, it starts with, in terms of connecting to this loving energy or power I'm talking about, this feminine power, it all starts with shifting our energy in our body. And so I know the clients that I have who are just starting out in a new yoga class or just got running shoes and are wanting to walk again to move their bodies. It is the first thing that our bodies want to do. It's the first thing that our loving energy wants to do, to brighten it up again, to reconnect you with it again, is to move our bodies. That is the very first thing that we do to get this loving energy reconnected again within us.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, and welcome to the show. This is Orion. Thank you so much for being here. Today you're in for a treat. I have with me the most calming, sweet person. Her name is Elaine Glass. She is a personal coach and author. She shares her transformative journey from living a difficult marriage to rediscovering inner peace through spiritual explorations and self-care practices. And in her book, Get Quiet, her message emphasizes that everyone is born with an innate sense of peace, which can be reclaimed through mindfulness, self-nurturing, and embracing change. So in this episode, we talked about how to create a new identity for yourself and hold on to it. How to manifest your dreams, but by getting the guidance from within, not trying to just push for them. And how to stay calm through change, how to stay calm in the eye of the storm. Elaine was here before, and it's just another phenomenal episode. So after you listen to this one, go check episode 343 from November 7th, 2023. Get Quiet and Trust Your Soul with Elaine Glass. And you can find it everywhere that's streaming, but it's easier to just go to stellarlifepodcast.com and put her name, Elaine Glass, in the search button, and you can just find the episode. And if you like this episode or any other episode, share the love. Share it with your loved ones. Uplift them. Make them feel just as good. And also share the love with me, because I love love and I love to love, and I would love your love. I would love you to tell me how you're feeling, what you ate for breakfast. No, not that. If you want a new content, if you're enjoying the show, if you're getting value from the show, I would love to hear about that. Same, you can contact me on stellarlifepodcast.com. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a listener. I love you. Have a phenomenal day. And now enjoy the show. Hi, Elaine. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here for the second time. Woohoo!
What an honor. Wow. 2 times on Stellar Life. I mean, it's really an honor, Orion. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, thank you. I want to start with a different question. Can you share with us one of your favorite childhood memories?
I'm on a fishing boat with my brother, my older brother, and my dad. I am catching my very first fish.
How old were you?
I was probably 6 or 7.
Aw.
Yeah, we were a very outdoorsy family. And it's funny you should ask that question, because I was just looking at childhood photos yesterday.
Wow. And you saw the photo with the fish?
I saw the photo with the fish. I saw the photo, the excitement in my face, the excitement in my brother's face. My dad looked like he was just trying to manage it all and enjoying his kids in such a fun environment. And, I think it's really important to look at childhood photos. I think it can reveal so much in terms of remembering who we were back then, what we enjoyed, what lit us up, what our parents wanted us to experience. And for my family, it was really about being together as a family, being together out in nature, and having memorable experiences together. And I'm really, really grateful for that.
Yeah. What were the things that lit you up as a little girl? Like for now, my 5-year-old took all the bag of like recycling with like big water bottles for recycling, and he builds rockets out of them. He's very into NASA, so they're all rockets now. So he wants to be an engineer, and he also wants to print Legos. What what were the things that turned you on when you were a little girl, like that you really wanted to be or do?
I remember my dad, because another activity we did outdoors was skiing, and I grew up in near Lake Tahoe, California, which had some of the biggest mountains in the state. And I remember as a little girl, even at like as young as 10 years old, what lit me up and what I wanted to do was to be adventurous, was to do things that made me feel life at the highest level, to allow me to feel the exhilaration of going down the highest mountain at 10 years old, and my dad being so supportive and so inspirational, and telling me like, you can do this, you can do this, and having all the confidence in the world in me. And when a parent shows their child that they have confidence um, in them, it really, really springs up so much inner confidence in that child. And so I wanted to feel life fully. And in that moment, it was exhilaration. And then it was feeling pride for myself, getting to the bottom of that mountain. And I look back now over 5 decades from then, and I think I needed every bit of that from my dad and my mom. I needed every bit of their belief in me to know that I can do hard things, that I can get through difficult times and come out the other side and be better for it.
And how does that relate to what you do today?
That's exactly actually what I help people with now, is helping people find their purpose, helping people feel life fully, and to really know why they're here, and what they have in terms of their gifts. We call them gifts. We call them, you know, great skill sets, but we call them gifts from the soul as to why we really are here on a very deep level. And I feel like I was brought here to inspire people, to believe, breathe belief in people. And it only takes one person to breathe belief in somebody else for them to even begin to say to themselves, oh my gosh, I forgot about that about myself. And this person believes in me. And thank you for the reminder. And then have them go upon their path feeling like they can do what they know they've always wanted to do, but maybe have been scared to do. I remember when I wanted to leave my 20-year career in healthcare, and I was so scared because I was a single mom and I needed the money to take care of my children. They were so young, and I needed to take care of myself. But I knew there was more for me. And I think that you always are feeling like there's something more, there's something more. And I really believe that's your soul's calling. It's your soul nudging you, saying, there's more here. This is the direction I want you to go in. And what I was actually doing, Orion, all those years, is I was helping people with their lives and coaching people, and didn't really even know I was doing that. But I got some clarity around what my life was wanting, the direction I wanted to go in. And I became a life coach. And I left a very certain career to go into a very uncertain direction. But again, it was like that childhood support I got from my parents. I believe in you. You can do this. And they were right. And so here I am, many years later, 15 years later now, with this new take on life, And I think that happens a lot, especially with women who have raised children. Um, I want to say raised husbands, but that's supported husbands, help them with their dreams and help their children take off in the world with following their dreams, having taken care of pets and maybe elderly parents. But now it's their time. And it was my time as well. And that's when I said, I'm going to take a whole new direction, believe in myself, and really, really get quiet around my environment to be able to hear my soul's voice in what direction it wanted to go in.
And what's your biggest dream?
My biggest dream. It's not like it really is to live an authentically peaceful life. I think living an authentically peaceful life means that you don't look away from the difficult emotions. You don't look away and be in denial of a life that isn't serving you. Denial is don't even know I am lying.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, don't even know I am lying. We don't even know sometimes we're lying to ourselves. And so being authentically peaceful is looking at places where I could be looking away at the truth of my life, addressing it head on, not being afraid to be uncomfortable if something is difficult to see, and moving through that time with grace and compassion for myself. And so my biggest dream is for myself to be authentically peaceful and for the world to be at peace.
So, how can we know if we're aligned to ourselves? Like, let's say we have a big dream, and how do we know it's not just influenced by outside influence and it's really, really our dream?
In your most quiet moments. So that could be when you're first getting up in the morning out of bed. Maybe it's right before you go to bed and you're just falling asleep. Sometimes your soul will call you in the middle of the night. I mean, that's what happened to me, those 3 a.m. wake ups that I thought were just hormones out of whack. Those were really messages waking me up and guiding me to my soul's calling. So if there's something there's like urges for you to go into an art studio, take a class that you are interested in. These are things that your soul will nudge you to do. And they may not make sense because it may be so different than what you're actually doing right now that it might be confusing to you. But I would say just trust what you are being led to. I remember there was a time after my divorce that I committed to a year that I called living out of my comfort zone. It was a way for me to re-engage in life again because I was just kind of curled up in a ball, feeling very traumatized after a very difficult divorce. And so this year I committed to, and this is a way to really help listen to your soul's calling, is every month I committed to doing something very different. Sometimes it was out of my comfort zone. Sometimes it was just something that sounded like a lot of fun. And after those 12 months, I was so clear on my purpose. I had changed my career. I had a website up. I had started taking coaching clients, and I actually fell in love again. So it was a year of really understanding a new identity, because when we go through any type of difficult transition in our life, a divorce, a death, the kids leaving to go to college, menopause, pregnancy, anything that's just new and different, it's an opportunity to really help us look at a newer identity and give ourselves permission to look at a new identity for ourselves. And it's funny because I started off that very first year of living outside my comfort zone, taking a class called Toastmasters, which, as you know, is, it's a public speaking forum where you learn how to public speak. And that was my greatest fear. Well, I didn't know why I was being called to take this class. But here I am now, over a decade later, speaking on big stages, speaking on podcasts like yours, which I love so much and get so much value from. And so I trusted. I trusted the urges that were leading me to these various different things. And so um, I would totally recommend somebody do that. You don't have to commit to a year. Just even try one thing, a month for 2 months that you're interested in, and it will definitely lead you in places that you're going to be so surprised about, and I think happily surprised about.
What other things did you do that year?
That year, I also started getting very interested in energy medicine.
Mm.
I had been in dentistry, and so I'd had my hands over people's energy bodies for 20 years, over 40,000 patients one on one.
Wow, too much energy. Whew. Ah.
But what I didn't realize is that I had formed a very masterful skill, and when I became conscious and aware of that, my soul led me to learning more about energy medicine and learning what is called Reiki, which is energy medicine. I don't practice that now because what actually evolved into this was my own healing energy modality. And so, but those were the urges, those were the curiosities, you could call them, to leading me in a direction that really surprised me. But it took trust, Orion. I think that is the main thing. It's the trust in these urges, these trusts in yourself, and and to actually be okay being a beginner in something.
In the last few days, I have this urge. I really want to. I did martial arts a long time ago, but I really want to get back into it. Um, I just came back from a retreat with Sheila Kelly where I was doing pole dancing, connecting to my femininity and all that. And I just want to kick ass, I just want to fight. I have so much fight energy in me, and I think I need to channel it. So thank you for the inspiration. I think that was a message for me specifically, um, to go for it.
It's what I believe we're all searching for, is this reconnection to the energy, which I call our power, which really, in my language, is loving energy. And reconnecting to that power of loving energy, and knowing what to do with it. First, because we lose it. We lose it. We're born with it. This is what our soul is loving energy. And this is what that power is. But through life's ups and downs, it wanes and it lessens, and it may not feel so bright and powerful. And it might even feel like it's not even there anymore. That was my journey back to, what can I do to regain that power? And I thought the power at first was forceful. I thought, oh, I have to do the hustle. I have to, do the masculine hustle in business. And actually, it turned out that, and it brings me so much joy. And I think you might notice my smile. I just noticed my smile light up my whole body just now, because I'm thinking about this power as this beautiful, feminine, loving energy that I had lost. And how could I regain that back? And that those were the urges, and you tell and sharing me, what you're curious about right now. That's how, anyway, I'm interpreting it. So thank you for sharing that. I love to hear people's curiosities and what's moving them in different directions than they expect to be moved in, and then to trust that and take action to just at least try it out.
Right. Yeah, but how can you try it out when you feel like you never have time?
Well, time is
Time is an illusion.
yeah, well, besides that, besides that, I think that we do what we want to do. In the end, I think it's that simple.
There's always a way.
Yeah, there's always a way. I think what gets in our way is resistance and fear. And I totally get that. I totally get that.
Because as soon as I thought about it, these were the resistance was like, "Nuh-uh, you don't have time for this. You're homeschooling and you're trying to run your business. How will you have time for another class? Blah 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 blah. Maybe I should not go, but you're right. So why do you think we have all this resistance? Is this like the universe testing us if we're ready to go for it?
Well, in a way, there's an energy pull. Definitely, there's a restriction. There's a contraction. It's like giving birth. Like anything. Anytime you want to birth something new, there's contraction. There's and that can be the resistance. That can be the fear. Um, and so you have to be compassionate with yourself when the fear arises, when the resistance arises. This is your life. It's time now to take care of you. It's time to take care of the soul that wants to express itself in its absolute perfection in this lifetime. And when we take care of ourselves in that way, it helps everybody around us. It helps our business. It helps our partners. It helps our children. It gives everyone around us permission to do the same. And what a world that would be if we were all living on that type of purpose and self-care for ourselves.
Yeah, well said. Very inspiring. Okay, I kind of have a studio in mind.
just do one class. Just do one class. See how it feels. Because you see, I believe that every energy shift, it starts with, in terms of finding this, connecting to this loving energy or power I'm talking about, this feminine power. It all starts with shifting our energy in our body. And so I know the clients that I have who are just starting out in a new yoga class or just got running shoes and are wanting to walk again, to move their bodies. It is the first thing that our bodies want to do. It's the first thing that our loving energy wants to do, to brighten it up again, to reconnect you with it again, is to move our bodies. That is the very first thing that we do to get this loving energy reconnected, again within us. And not that you don't have it, and not that anyone listening doesn't have it. It's just sometimes there can be a month where it's waning, or a day that it feels waning, and we have this urge to want to get it back and not lose it. And so our bodies remind us of that. Like, go take a martial arts class, go take a Pilates class, go for a run. And I've never run before. I mean, it's just like our bodies need to move. Our bodies need to shift the energy, because a lot of times when we go through difficult times and we're trying to process difficult emotions, our energy gets stuck and we have to move it. And that's all your body is trying to tell you. So there should not be resistance. There should be like, oh, my body's trying to tell me something. Thank you.
Yes. So when you're in the process of creating this new identity, how do you keep the new identity? Because the old identity will fight back. Will tell you this is not who you are. Who are you thinking? Wait a minute. What are those shifts? How do you manage the transition between the um the current version to the 2.0 version of yourself?
It's a really a beautiful, beautiful question, and I feel like it's an ongoing. It may not be totally conscious throughout our day, but I think it's an ongoing mindfulness um, practice to trust where our lives are newly taking us, to understand that the old has permission to fall away and that you can even go into a new version of yourself. So that's the first thing, is to know that just give yourself permission to change. You know, it's funny because sometimes, during the holidays, we'll go back and we haven't seen family and friends for a long time, and they'll put us in this box of, oh, this is how Elaine is, or this is how Orion is. But it's like, no, you haven't seen me in a year. I'm different. And so telling people around you and communicating to people around you what is new with you, so that you can update people. I think that's very important, because as much as you're changing, you have to share that with the ones closest to you. Even your own partner doesn't know. We are our own universe. So it's like every once in a while, like, tell your partner, this is how I'm changing, and get that support as well. And so how I did it was, as you know, I get quiet. I get quiet. That is how I can tune into my soul. I can tune into that loving energy that is always communicating with us. And when I get quiet in the method that I teach, I know that that voice that I hear is my inner wisdom. That is a wisdom that I can't find outside myself in the chaotic, noisy world. And that wisdom is what guides my life. And that is my wish for everyone. And when that wisdom guides my life, I know that I can be a 2.0 version, a 3.0 version, a 4.0. I mean, it is endless. It is limitless. But I have found a way to trust that.
So like we moved to Israel about 7 months ago, and then I feel like there is kind of like a split, like the version of me that lived in the States and the version of me that lives here. Um, I felt like the version of me that lives here got so shocked with the move that she kind of shrunk, almost like plain smaller, hiding more, trying to just figure out where am I actually. Even though I'm from here, I haven't been here for most of my life, so it's different. Um, and I saw it the most, like the sharpest, where we went to travel. We went to a vacation in Miami and also to run some errands there, and we just came back and in Miami, and we spent some time in Puerto Rico. I was kind of like, I was so like switched on, and as soon as I landed, I got so sick. I got like this last week, I was so sick, like terrible, terrible, horrible. Couldn't get out of bed. And I'm like, wow, this is very interesting because I'm here and I'm trying to hold on to a larger identity, but I do let the environment, this place that I'm in right now that is full of furnitures that are not mine, and it's temporary because this is kind of like a temporary place, but it doesn't feel like our place, doesn't feel like ours. So I guess the environment, the collective mindset with everything that's has been going on here for the last 2 years, um kind of like I see how that brings me down. And I'm thinking, now that I'm seeing it and I had to go through whatever I went through, is that it's almost like refining a diamond. Like I had to like be thrown between those two alternate realities. I swear to God, it felt like I was stepping into like different universes where I'm two different people completely. And I guess I needed to be shown that and go through that to do some kind of a um soul cleansing or refining the diamond in the fire to step into a mega version that's bigger, that is bigger than the both, that is different than the both. What do you think?
Well, you are a diamond. You are a diamond. I love that metaphor that you have for yourself. And because we're all energy, you are like in a washing machine. Going from this reality to that reality, getting sick. These are all shifts in your energy because it's preparing you for your upgrade. Getting sick is really in this way, from what I'm sensing of this illness you've had. I think it's an upgrade not in only in your immune system. A lot of people were sick in the last 6 months. A different type of sickness this time. It was the virus, but then it was like the pneumonia after, or it was the virus, pneumonia, and something else. Like this has never happened where people are getting secondary, third and fourth, infections after. This is a time that I believe, and for the future, for these people who were very sick this last 6 months, this is an upgrade in the immune system. It's an upgrade in your entire energetic system.
I can see that. Yeah, lots of people are getting sick, and this is like, yeah, it's a weird sickness where it's not just one thing, it's like 1 + 1 + 4 = 1,000. It's kind of weird.
And this is the time. I was also very sick in January for 5 weeks. I've never been sick for 5 weeks in my life. And this is where it came to me. My soul spoke to me, that inner wisdom spoke to me. And I heard this is an upgrade in your system. I woke up one in the middle of the night, and the very first thing I thought was, this is an upgrade in your system, because I couldn't believe how sick I was. And so I rested. I rested, Orion, like I've never rested before. Like a rest that would be such an upgrade in your system that you would literally be needing to do almost practically nothing. And I know that sounds dramatic.
No, that was me for 4 days, for 4 or 5 days. Even if I wanted to, like I would get up, and it's like me and my husband took turns because he got sick, but I got way sicker. So I'm like, I get up, I kind of try to be a good mom and take care of my son, and I'm like, I gotta go back to lay down. He's like, okay, go, and then we switch.
And again, this is about self-care. This is about saying to yourself, I give myself permission to rest. That this is going to benefit me beyond, anything that I can ever see right now. And this is how you go beyond conventional methods to heal. So, of course, if you need an antibiotic or you need, breathing treatments because of the lungs, of course, you're going to serve yourself in that way. But there is a way to approach these illnesses that go beyond conventional methods to heal in a way that is from the soul level. And so to me, it's an opportunity to heal in the deepest sense. And it definitely isn't fun. Anyone listening who's been sick, it is definitely not fun. It rocks your world, it rocks your energy, but you regulate to a place of newness, of freshness, of awareness that is so expanded. And it's a beautiful, beautiful transformation.
So, how was the last year for you? What's new and exciting? What is present in your life right now?
The term authentically peaceful really comes to mind. There were so many years where I did not feel inner peace. I felt a lot of chaos. I felt like my old stories were running the show. And uh, how could I address the emotions that came from those old stories, really master my emotions, so that if I did get emotional about something, I mean, when we last spoke, it was November 2023, and October 7th in Israel had just happened. And my emotions, I really tested my emotions to a level, a very high level, as it did everyone in Israel and around the world.
And still does, unfortunately. Like if you're here in Israel, it's you still feel it. You see photos of the hostages everywhere. People are like it's in the news all the time. People are still, families got hurt and lost their sons and daughters in the war. It's still very much an open wound here. Life is happening as usual, and people do things and go to the beach and travel and laugh and gather. But it's still like there is this. It's there. It's always there. It never goes away.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to actually live in Israel right now. I cannot even imagine the ongoing constant pain.
Energetically, as an empath, for me, like, like I'm like, okay, shields up. I forgot to put my shields up. Oh, shields up. Energetic shields up. Like I gotta always remind myself to put those energy boundaries on, so I'm not so affected from the weight of the collective. I know energy, you can feel energy everywhere in the world, but when you're in the vibration here is very, like, things here are very, very intense. There are a lot of, good things and good people and laughter and everything, but there's also this grief in the air, and you can feel it. It's in the news every day, every other day. It's everywhere you go. You can't just close your eyes. So what is it like to live here? Complicated. Complicated. Very complicated. Very, very a lot of everything, good and bad, intense.
And complicated is an emotion that's really it's an interesting emotion to identify for oneself, because what we can do with that word complicated is we can feel what complicated would feel like in terms of the emotion of fear. Complicated would be the emotion of uncertainty. It would be even the emotion of sadness, of frustration. And so when we really identify these emotions, and anyone can go online and just look up, the word complicated, and really dive deep into what the deeper emotions are around that word, and identify the emotions and feel the emotions. When we go outside, we want to protect our energy, but when we come back inside, that would be the time to sit with those emotions, to journal about the emotions, get the emotions out of your body, go to your martial arts class, get them out of your body.
I can't wait. Since the moment we talked about it, I just have like flashbacks of me, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, like doing MMA with my coach, and just the smell of the sweat, and like aikido with my aikido master, and like rolling on the mat. I'm like, all those like flashbacks are, as we spoke about it, are coming in, coming in, coming in. I'm like, oh, I miss it, I want it, I miss it, I want it. So just, yeah, just a side note, back to complicated. Sorry about that.
You are so intuitive, Orion. It's what I so much appreciate about you. Like I said, I love your podcast. Every episode is brilliant. Um, and I love that you are so in tune to what you need. And you can read life, but you can also read yourself. And what a gift that is when we can do both of those things. When we're unable to know what we need, when we're unable to read life and know what's going on around us, we really stay so confused. And so our lives feel so uncertain. And so we feel so lost. And so, what a gift you have, and what a gift this podcast is to the world in really bringing on people who can show people how to read life, how to be aware of their surroundings, what they need to move their life forward. Because I think the worst thing is when we feel so stuck that our lives, like we're unable to move forward. It's the worst feeling you can ever feel, is to be stuck in a situation that just doesn't feel authentic and right for you. But you do things like move your body, you do things like get back in control of your environment, you do things like managing and mastering even your emotions. These are all the paths that you take to get back into who you truly are and why you are really here as a soul. That those are the steps.
And Elaine, can I tell you something?
Please.
If you were here, I would give you such a big hug, like probably 3 minutes long, and I would squish you so hard. I just want to be, thank you so much for all the beautiful things you just said. I really appreciate it.
And I would just squeeze you right back.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, it's funny because I think we are, as women, we give and give and give so much to others. But I think every woman, including myself, because this is the journey I've been on and the journey I take people on, is to bring all that nurturing, all that loving energy we talked about initially back inside for us now. This is every woman's work to do.
How do you do that?
You go through taking care of your body, nurturing your body. You take care of cleaning and clearing your environment. You take care of cleaning and clearing out your mental chatter. You take care of cleaning and clearing out and managing your emotions. I mean, those are the first four paths that I talk about in my book, Get Quiet. After that, you are now finally have some certainty and some new awareness to ground all of that new wisdom into the earth and up to the heavens. And so that is how I do it, is grounding all of that new information, all that wisdom, and trusting that now you can move your dreams forward. Now you even know what your dream is. And when you know what that dream is, the universe swoops in and now lights your intuition on fire. You are so intuitive at that point. And you get to the center of yourself and you say, okay, I know why I'm here. I'm loving energy. And this is my purpose, is to share this loving energy in my most authentic way. And this is what our purpose is here.
Do you need to remind yourself about your dream? Like put a post-it note about it in your wallet or like get little reminders every day? Because sometimes I feel like I have this huge list of dreams and I remember them and I get excited and then life happens and I kind of forget about them and then I get excited. How do you keep holding on that like big fire to push those dreams forward?
I look at them as like dreams can be wonderful, but they can also be limiting. Like
Oh,
goals,
I like
like
that.
goals can be limiting too, because I think it's so much pressure. Like to
Yeah.
have a goal.
Like I feel like sometimes I write my dreams, I get spiritual and then I get like anxiety around it.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't put that much pressure on myself. I really don't. I say to myself, do I feel healthy today? Am I being kind today? Am I helping someone today? I take it in the present moment. And that may not they may not resonate with a lot of people. But for me, I have to do baby steps. I can't make it so big that, like I get scared or I get resistant or I even forget about the dream. Like I have to dream in every moment that I'm awake. And you're only able to do that being extremely present. And what I think I have found most in this year, when you ask about that, is this presence that I have, how present I am to my presence, and how that equals feeling my power, those P's. And in that is where my dreams lie, from a moment to moment basis. And I give myself permission as a woman to have those fluctuate and have those expand or contract. And it really brings me so much peace and freedom to do it this way. So the really what I'm saying is presence, to be present to your presence, to be present to your beautiful soul and what it has to share with you equals your power.
I love that because it makes sense. Because if I'm thinking about achieving my dreams, and it's a laundry list of things I need to check, then I'm not present with any of it. So it's about allowing yourself to just be in the moment, be in the present moment, and from that place of connection, you just you take the steps. And I like what you said about baby steps, and I like what you said about allowing yourself to fluctuate. No, it's not, nothing is linear. We think that everything needs me. I think that everything needs to be linear, and I need to, like, from this day to this day I have to achieve this and this and that, but it's not like that.
It's a very masculine.
It's a very masculine way of thinking about things, and I need to, as someone who teaches femininity, I think,
No, some like we teach what we have to learn most, right? So like I teach people how to be peaceful because I needed to learn how to be peaceful. So um, it's a very masculine way to approach things. But we know as women, we know it needs to be different. It's just that there are masculine people around us that are operating in a certain way, and we go, oh, well, that's working for them. But then we try to do it and we're like, oh no, that feels really bad in my body. And we don't know why, because it seems like the logical way to go about, creating a business or creating anything you want. But then we don't know why we feel like yucky inside. We don't know why we feel lost. We don't know why we feel like, no, that's just not the way I want to go about doing this. And it's because it's not the feminine way to create. I mean, think about 9 months of a baby in your womb. Think about all the fluctuations. Think about all the baby steps that is going on in each cellular division of that child. Like, these things are happening in small incremental, over a long 9-month period. This notion of like these quick fixes, or these, I'm going to create, a business and it's going to be a success in like a month or two. Like it's just not a feminine way to be. And it makes us feel like we're not in our feminine power. And yeah, it really, to create space for yourself is really the whole key for a person to be able to get clarity so that they can create in a feminine way. We are looking to create more space in our life than ever before. This is the way you create in a feminine way. And I had to learn that the hard way because I burned out several times in my earlier years. I got autoimmune diseases because of the stress, and I had to learn the hard way. And I really don't want anyone to learn that way.
yeah. I love what you said about, wait a minute, everybody say that this movement is great. Why does it not feel good in my body? Wait a minute, let me listen in. We don't take the time to listen in. It's so easy to be swayed by everything we see out there. Um, other people's way of achieving something, people that look so like shiny and glamorous and successful. And like what you said, we need to take that time to reflect back inside, listen to our own bodies. How does that feel in my body, in my world? Is really my way? Are the thoughts that I'm thinking are actually my thoughts or something I'm now observing from the collective? Like you said, you get quiet and you make that separation between you and the external world. That's beautiful.
You got to trust the unseen. This is about trusting the unseen. This is about trusting intuition, trusting God, trusting your angels, trusting your guides. Because when you are disconnected to the collective, it is your opportunity to connect with the unseen. And there's much more support there. There's all the love there. There's all the guidance there. But we can't connect to that unless we trust it's there and begin to take baby steps to take action on what we hear from the unseen. But the minute you start taking baby steps and the minute you see synchronicities unfold around you, because you did take those actions, your whole life will change.
And it seems like even like I just listened to a feng shui podcast, and they were talking about how this year is the year of 9. We were at the year of 8, which is gathering knowledge, and now it's the year of 9 where everything is excelling three times, 3 times 3, because 9 is 333. So it's like rapid fire. Everything is going to be really, really um, becoming faster and faster and faster, and we see it in AI and all that. So I feel like, especially in a time where everything is so rapid, taking the time to get quiet, taking the time to connect to that channel of infinite love will give us the most support, because we cannot try to win by being the fastest. Is not always the best solution. But when you connect and you get the guidance, then you learn how to maneuver in this world from a more peaceful place, right? What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, because we are desperate to stay human, but we're more desperate to stay soulful. If the concept is that, which I believe is that we are souls in this human body, the human part of us can get chaotic. But what this work of Get Quiet really does is it connects you to your soul. That's the part of you that never dies. That's the part of you that could never be swept away by the collective in a negative way. So it's funny because I just had a client and I reminded her of this, and we went through the paths of the Get Quiet way, and she wrote me a beautiful letter after, and she said, "You were my first aid kit." And I've never been called someone's first aid kit, but I really feel like the world is like we're bleeding from the inside out. We're internally bleeding because of the wounds of the psychological collective that is negative. And when you do this work that I'm talking about, it is like a first aid kit of healing those internal wounds, of being able to feel whole again, to feel that loving energy power again. And for women in particular, to feel the feminine energy. And that really is what I feel for women in my experience and who I support. I feel like that is their greatest pain point, and they can't identify it. And the work that you do, the brilliant work that you must see this as well, is that women can't identify the loss of power, the loss of whatever it is they're feeling lost from. Well, they're lost from themselves, the way that God created us.
Well, my dear, this was so beautiful. And before we say goodbye for now, and please come back whenever you want. um, what are your three top tips to live in a stellar life, and where can people find you and get your book?
3 top tips for living a stellar life: heal your body, heal your mind, heal your emotions. You can you can find me at elaineglass.com.
Cool. And so, yeah, thank you so much for being here again. Thank you for being a beautiful light in the world. I really feel like you walk your talk, and every time I have the pleasure of somebody that is so aligned with like they are their message, you know. I just feel really beautiful to share space with and have this beautiful interaction with. So thank you so much for that.
Well, I guess a mirror today for you because I feel like you see yourself in that same thing. So that's what I see in you as well. So thank you so much, Orion, for having me on a second time. It is truly an honor to be on Stellar Life.
Yeah, of course it is. Thank you, Elaine. And thank you, listeners. Remember to heal your body, heal your mind, heal your emotions, and have a stellar life. This is Orion. Till next time.